In my opinion, this is the clear winner. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Garth Grills, and today on this episode, we're gonna do a bit of an experiment. I'm gonna be making some cauliflower steaks, and I've made cauliflower steaks in the past, and they're delicious. If you've never made them before, I strongly suggest you give it a try. But today we're doing an experiment. In the past, when I've made cauliflower steaks, I grill them. And today I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison test between grilling a cauliflower steak and seeing if smoking a cauliflower steak is any good. All right, so what's our plan? The one I'm gonna be smoking, I'm gonna cut into a nice sized steak. We'll do that in just a second. And I'm going to season it with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper only, because I wanna see if it will actually take on the flavor profile of the smoke. Whereas the other one, I'm going to do the same, cut it into a steak, and I'm gonna season it with some olive oil, some lime juice, some salt and pepper, and a little bit of cayenne for some heat, and then we're gonna grill it. So again, I think we're gonna grill this for about 15 minutes or so. And the idea for this guy here is to smoke it for about 30 minutes at 300 degrees on indirect heat. I'll put on some pecan, some apple wood, and yeah, I'm genuinely curious, guys. I have no idea if this is gonna turn out and be amazing, or if this is gonna just turn out mushy, and my wife and I can share this guy over here. So anyways, let's get into the preparation of this steak. First, we need to remove all of this greenery on the outside, and we're gonna leave the stump, because the stump is gonna help keep the steak intact together. So we just need to slowly peel back some of this greenery, and I'll get this nice and prepped up for us. All right, so as you can see, I have trimmed off all of this greenery that was on the base of the cauliflower. The idea is that we're gonna cut off the sides, and then we're gonna cut right down the middle in the thickest part with the stem intact to create some cauliflower steaks. So before I get into that though, we're gonna go to the barbecue and get that all prepped up for smoking. So follow me out to the barbecue and we'll get that going. All right, guys, so we're gonna be cooking these cauliflower steaks on the Weber Kettle today. So I need to prepare this for smoking. To do that, I'm going to fill up one of my charcoal baskets 3/4 of the way full of uncooked charcoal. I'm then gonna place it in the corner, it's a circle, off to the side of my Weber, just like so. And then I'm gonna heat up a handful of charcoal on the bottom side of my basket, because it has a smaller catch. You can see that there? So probably 8 to 10 charcoals. Get those nice and lit, and then I'm gonna pour those or place them into the corner of the basket itself, and then I'm gonna have a nice low temperature, a lid temperature of about 300 degrees. And then from there, once the temperature stabilizes a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and place my cauliflower steak, the salt and peppered one, off to the side in indirect heat. The idea is that we're gonna barbecue that for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to sear it like we would reverse sear a steak. At the same time, we're gonna put the other cauliflower steak on there and grill it side by side. So one's gonna get a grilling, one's gonna get more of a low and slow indirect heat treatment. And then we'll do a taste test. So let's make some steaks. My plan is to cut off the edges and then do one nice big cut, probably about 1.5 inches, not quite 2 inches, right down the middle. So again, that stem stays intact. So let's go ahead and give that a try. And so like I said, we're just gonna kind of make a nice little border for where we want the steaks to actually be. And so I'm gonna cut off this edge here. I'm expecting well, it actually stayed intact a bit more than I was expecting, which is cool. Turn it around. Cut off this side. trim off some of that bottom. Now this is a little too thick for a steak. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off another 1/2 inch or so. Again, while still keeping that stem intact. So I'm gonna go ahead right down the middle. So there you have it. I'm gonna probably clean up some of the greenery on the outside here, but we have a nice size steak there. And I also have a smaller one that I got out of it as well, which is also intact, which is great. So I'm gonna put these off to the side. I'm gonna cut up my second one, and then we're gonna season both of them before putting them on the barbecue. So let's go ahead and get these seasoned up. The first one I'm gonna do, like I said, just straight up olive oil, salt, and pepper. So I'm just gonna get my brush, pour a little bit of this on here, not too much. Just brush it on. It's not every day you get to season a cauliflower. All right, olive oil's on. So I'm gonna use some kind of thick, crunchy, kosher-y salt. I love using the thicker salt for cooking, just so you can like get that crunch. Get one of these in here. Yeah. Get some pepper. Just kind of dust. All right, and this one's pretty much good to go. Now for the second one, we're gonna do a combination of olive oil, salt and pepper, some lime juice, and some cayenne. So I think that heat and the citrus are gonna play in nicely for this grilled cauliflower. All right, so let's go ahead and brush this on our cauliflower. How you doing today? You doing good? Sweet. Nothing like a little mid-cauliflower based check-in, right? All right, so I have my 2 cauliflowers, one that's a bit more flavorful because I'm grilling it, and one that is just salt and pepper because I want to see if the smoke process actually gets into the flavor of the cauliflower. So let's go check it out, guys. Our next step is to get our charcoals onto the barbecue and then actually get the barbecue up to temperature. I'm looking for a lid temperature of 300 degrees. And then once that stabilizes, I'm gonna throw this guy on there and he's gonna smoke for about 30 minutes or so. And then after a while, we'll put these on the grill. We'll do a side-by-side taste test, and we'll let you know what we think. All right, guys, the lid temperature is just a little bit north of 300. But that is okay because as soon as I take off the lid, it's gonna drop down, and once I put it back on, it'll regulate. I've closed my vents on the bottom almost all the way just to restrict some airflow, and that'll help keep the temperatures nice and regulated as well. So let's open up the lid. All right, let's get this cauliflower on some indirect heat. We're gonna start the timer. And I'm gonna leave it there for about 30 minutes or so. Again, my barbecue should get back up to temps here in just a little bit. It did fall below 300, but it's already creeping up back to 300. So we will come back in about 30 minutes. All right, guys, it's been 30 minutes since we threw the original cauliflower steak on the smoker. I got the other 2 ready to go. So next step is actually to open up the vents down below. So I'm gonna open up this guy all the way. And what that's gonna do is allow for more airflow to come from the bottom up and increase the temperature of the barbecue itself. So I'm gonna position this so you can see a little bit better. I'm gonna open up the lid. Ooh, I got some good color on that thing. Let's get a little closer look. Yeah. So I've already burned through some of those charcoal. So we're gonna now transition all 3 to the fireside and actually get some grilling going. So first I'm gonna put these on carefully. And I'm gonna just slide this one over so it's a bit more in contact with the heat. So the temperatures are gonna start to rise and we're gonna have a bit more direct heat on all 3. So we now are officially grilling, instead of doing our indirects low and slow. All right, it's been a couple minutes since I threw these on. Because they're on direct heat, I'm gonna start flipping them every couple minutes so that one side doesn't get burnt with too much exposure to the heat. So I'll actually give you a better view. All right, so I'm gonna also give this one a bit more heat. Yeah, we want a little bit of a char on there for sure. Those are looking good. The goal for me is to grill these for about 15 minutes in total. All right, we're getting towards the end of this cook here, guys. I had the cauliflower directly right over the flame. And as you can see, I've definitely charred the outside, which I'm not that bummed about because I know that these things are thick and there's still gonna be plenty of flavor in them. So I've moved them off the direct flame just a little bit. I'm gonna close up the lid for another 5 minutes. And then after that 5 minutes is done, then we will cut into these things and see how they taste. All right, guys, the cauliflower steaks are done. This one is our smoked one. As you can see, it has a bit better color. It looks like it took on some of the flavor of the smoke. So I'm just gonna take a little corner here of the floret. Okay. This one was just salt and pepper. I can taste the salt and pepper, but I can also taste the smoke. It's gonna be pretty subjective. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of the smoke flavor on the cauliflower. I think it kind of just added a weird element to what probably should only be grilled or even put in the oven. So I think it worked. I don't think it ruined the consistency, but it definitely threw on a smoke flavor onto the actual cauliflower itself. So versus this one we did with some olive oil, salt and pepper, garlic, lime juice, and a little cayenne. So I'm gonna take off a corner of this and see if it's any better. Yeah. So less smoke flavor, but you still get all the flavors from the marinade itself. So in my opinion, this is the clear winner. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, obviously I smoke meat all the time. I smoke meat. But I like this one better. So, all right, guys, well, there you have it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching that video. As always, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and feel free to follow me. I'm on Instagram at Garth Grills. I'm on TikTok at Garth Grills, and everywhere else on social media. Look for Garth Grills.